Now what's interesting is that what I said this could work as a split function too. So let's say we want to split everything at this add character. And we want to have one column that gives us the beginning before this add sign and then what's after the add sign. And the way I can accomplish that is by, well, our pattern is it's going to be some characters and then add sign and then some more characters after that. So again, every character before that it's going to be dot plus. So we want any character and one or more of those characters. And then we're going to have an add sign and then we're going to have again any character one more of the character. Now if I enter, I'm going to get the same results because it's still matching it and we're still saying that the part we want to extract is what's in parentheses. Now if we also want to extract the beginning part, I have to include parentheses and group that one as well. So now we're saying this is the first group we want to extract and this is the second group we want to extract. And overall this is the pattern we're trying to match. So if I enter, you'll see how we have now split that into two columns. And we have this beginning part. The add sign is the one we use for splitting and we have the second part right after that. Which is kind of an interesting way to use split, which you could do with split function. Basically this tends to be the character we're splitting by and we can use any pattern as the split instead of just using the add sign. When you do parentheses, that means you group things. And that's what you're trying to extract. You were trying to match the pattern overall but what you're extracting out of the whole thing is just what's in that parentheses. So what I'm going to try to extract is the extension. The extension is always going to happen after the add sign at some point, right? Then we're going to have some domain names here and then we're going to have the extension which could be either dot something or it could be dot something and that's dot something again after that. So how can we match that? So first of all we want to start with an add sign we said right and then after the add sign what characters do we have? We are going to have the actual name of the domain whatever it's going to be like something.com or something. So first of all we have to understand what characters are possible to be in the domain in general because not only we want to cover this cases we want to cover any other cases. So the characters that are possible in the domain is basically as far as I know you have letters and you can also have hyphens if I'm not mistaken as a domain name. I don't think you can have an underscore in your domain name. I'm not sure about that. So basically what we're looking for is lowercase letters, uppercase letters, and then a hyphen. So how can we do that? Because for example the W character that we do which is the word character it's doing the lowercase uppercase letters. But first of all it does not include the hyphen in it. It includes the underscore though it also includes numbers. That's not going to work because we want the hyphen in it. So what we can do is use this new way in regular expression which is this square brackets. So the square brackets indicates that we're trying to give different possible characters within this square brackets that are acceptable. So if I do like A and B and C and 1, 2, 3 we're basically saying that it can be any one of these characters here right after the @ sign. So if I enter you'll see that C this one is a right after the @ sign. So we've extracted that. Now let's see if there are any other ones other than A. This one see the C right after the @ so it's a match and this is an A and C so there are no B's appear they right after the @ sign and we said ABCs are 1 2 3 so there are no nothing that starts with 1 2 3 or the B character in this particular case. Now if we want to say it can be one or more of the following characters with the plus sign after that as we do before right and now you can see how we got the A right and the next one is not really B or is not the C's not 1 2 3's not any one of those so obviously it's not going to extract that. So let's see if there is anything that gives us like two letters so there is CACC because C was one of those characters that was matching. So we've extracted that part. Now we could just go A B C D E F G right and so on. That's going to be crazy. We're going to have to type the whole alphabet in here. So a faster way to do that you can actually do characters says like this A to Z so now I'm saying it can be A to Z any characters of those and any number of those characters and if I enter well hyphen is not included so it's not going to be there so tell us C that's good. Now an interesting thing here is you can look here it's not matching this one because this is actually case sensitive and we're looking at lowercase a to z and this is the uppercase M. So we want to include uppercases as well so how do we do that? We do uppercase a to z. So now we're including uppercases as well. Now the next thing we want to include is a hyphen as a possible character so right after that we also add a hyphen as a possible character. So now we have A to Z lowercase a to Z uppercase and a hyphen, and now the domain names could also, although I can't see any over here, but they could also have numbers in them, right? So let's include those two as a possibility. So again, I'll do it here to make it clean 0 to 9. Those are the numbers and then a hyphen, so we did A to Z lowercase a to Z uppercase 0 to 9, all the numbers in hyphen character, so that was our possible variations that's going to get us the domain name without the extension. Now after the domain name, what are we going to have? We're going to have a dot for our extension, right? So to do a dot, I can't do a dot because that means any character, so I'm going to do this escape character. And then we're going to have this extension of the domain that we're going to have, so the extension of the domain is usually something that's text, so it's never numbers as far as I know, although we now have a lot of new extensions, so who knows, maybe something will come up. We could include uppercase in there because who knows, maybe somebody typed their emails with an uppercase.edu, so again I'm going to define those characters A to Z, and I could have used the W/W for OAuth in numeric, but again I don't want to include numbers and also I don't want to include underscores, so that's why I'm doing it this way, so A to Z, so we're saying any uppercase. Any uppercase or lowercase that would be just once, but we want one or more because it would be .edu.ca. So far we've got to the point that we've included the domain name and .edu part out of that, right? And in some cases it could also be that it's so.edu.co, but this case it doesn't include both of them. So I want to extract the extension, so the extension starts here, so it's going to be I wanted this part as a matching part of the pattern, but I don't really want to include that. I want to only extract the actual extension which starts with this and what's following it, so I'm going to put it in our parentheses, and that's our .edu. So far we're able to get the first part of the domain. So now what I'm going to do is do the second part, so I'm going to do another dot which in our extension, right, so it's going to be another escape character. Oops, I have to put this back here, so another escape character and a dot, and we could have again our A to Z lowercase or A to Z uppercase characters and one or more of those, so that's going to be a nice one. So now we're getting this extension which has two in them, but we're not getting this extension which does not have both of them, so what we should do, we should try to do this or the other one. So far this is our regular both of them, so what I'm going to do now, I want to say either this or this is either this or the other one, so I'm going to put parentheses around this group, and the sign in regular expression is this pipe, so I'm going to do the pipe, right, and then it's either going to be those two together, right, or it's going to be just a single .edu part, so that part again has to be its own group, so it's separate, so we do dot and then again our set of characters A to Z lowercase and A to Z uppercase in here, and we want one or more of those characters, so plus right here, so there we have it. We've extracted our domain extension as a result of this regular expression. Now what's in the interesting here, the set of parentheses, remember I said that's the set we want to capture, right? So right now one set of parentheses, this whole thing which is this is what we're looking for, but it also has this set of parentheses that's capturing this and this second set of parentheses in here that's capturing this. Now I didn't really want to capture this and this, I just wanted this whole thing, so what you can make the group as non-capturing group. So right now when you do parentheses you're saying I want to capture this. Now I want to make sure that this is grouping, but I'm doing this for the sake of grouping, I don't want to capture it. So the way you do that is by starting right after the parentheses you do question mark and semicolon, or is that colon? So question mark and colon, that means don't capture this. So if I hit enter right now you'll see that one of those columns is gone, so the same thing, I don't want the second one to be captured. So we'll do this, make it optional, and there we have it now, that made our regular expression that basically we're searching for something that starts in an add sign, then some A to Z characters and numbers with a hyphen in them, and then after that we're going to have this two possible extension types, one with .extension or the other one with two dots in extension.